next fight. I'm just going quick through these because I'm not going to. I'll talk more about the main card. The fights I want to see. We got this. Like I said, this fight. This is a pretty good card. As far as like a lot of older fighters. Who haven't really maybe killed it in the recent months. Like we got Ryan Spann, OSP, Ovin St. Peru, who's pretty much fought everyone himself. He's fought John Jones in the past. I mean, it kind of depends on which OSP you're gonna get. Like sometimes he could just be a world beater. Like I said, compete against John Jones, go the distance, whatever. Like just be that guy. He's been durable. He's been in wars. He's not looked good. So it's kind of like we don't know which one's gonna show up. Like if OSP is on his game, like he's a beast. I mean, he's one of the better fighters, but he's getting up there in age himself. Long reach for both these guys. 80-inch. I mean, they're both once OSP coming off a win. Ryan Spann was on kind of a good streak, and now he's coming off a loss in his last fight. He got a little bit of a height advantage. I mean, Ryan Spann is a little bit younger. I mean, he has been looking good as of late till that last fight. But OSP is like I said, he's that kind of wild card where you don't know what is going to happen. He could like come out and look like a world beater, like he's elite, back on the way to a title run, or he could just look bad in there and not pull the trigger, and Ryan Spann could look great. They're both kind of similar in that regard. Like both of them could either bring it and put on an exciting, crazy war type of fight, or they could put on a snooze fest where guys don't want to pull the trigger. I mean, I'm going to go with the crafty vet, OSP, man. I mean, he's gritty, ex-football player. He's got that horseshoe freaking branding on his arm. He's a tough guy. Ryan Spann, like I said, he has had some explosive wins, knocked out Dominic Reyes. I mean, he's had some good fights himself. And, I'm just going to go OSP on this one. I'm leaning him, and that's it for that one. I'm just running through these, like I said, because I don't know exactly. I haven't researched them all like that, like as far as like the prelims. We got because there's a lot of good fights on here. Marina Rodriguez, Lucindo, Stephen Thompson, and Wonderboy. I mean, Joaquin Buckley, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson against Joaquin Buckley. Now that's a good fight right there. I mean, Buckley's been on a tear ever since he went down to 170, coming down from 185. He has been more wrestling heavy. Like he's jacked, dude. He's a big dude. Not so much in the height. He's only 5'10" in stature and his height, but he's thick. He's a thick boy. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to put on a thick man, I should say. And he's going to put on some size after weigh-ins. And, I mean, I could see Joaquin Buckley. I don't think he's dumb enough to try and outstrike Stephen Wonderboy and play the whole Cobra Kai karate style. I don't think he could do that. You know what I mean? Because Wonderboy, if you play Wonderboy's game, you're going to get picked apart from the outside until he lands something big. I mean, look what he did against Kevin Holland. Like, there's levels to striking, and Wonderboy obviously is one of the elite strikers we've ever had in the UFC. His kickboxing standing, I think he went like 57, 58-0 in kickboxing before he even got to the UFC. So, I mean, he's always right there as far as striking. He is getting up there. I think he's like 41 now, 17-7. He's fought for the title against Tyron Woodley. Lost against Shavkat, kind of got dominated a little bit against Shavkat, but he does have good takedown defense. And this is the fight where it's going to be Joaquin Buckley. Like, if he doesn't play into the game where I feel like, I got to strike with Thompson, ego involved type thing, where it's just I got to show him something, because Joaquin Buckley does have power. I feel like he does have more power than Wonderboy Thompson as far as just straight up one shot, one kill knockout type power with the hands. But when it comes to those kicks, those long legs, and dexterity of Wonderboy Thompson, it's like you never know what's going to come. Like, he's landed every kick in the book. All the karate magazines, all the karate kid kicks, Wonderboy, I mean, he's landed them all. Like he landed everything and the kitchen sink against Kevin Holland. Wasn't able to, like, I think Kevin Holland had an injury in that fight, but still he showed that there's levels to this. Like, if you're going to stand and try to strike with this guy, it's a totally different level. He knows the distance, he knows the range, and he's going to pick you apart. And I just think if Joaquin Buckley comes at altitude, let's not forget, this is in Utah. You're going to be at altitude, and you're going to be trying a wrestling heavy attack against, or strategy against, Wonderboy Thompson. And if you don't get those takedowns, and you're just gassing yourself out, or you can't do any damage on the ground, every round starts standing. And if we get into the third round, and Joaquin Buckley's tired just because he's been trying to take Wonder Boy down this whole time. We could see a third round, second round knockout for Wonder Boy Thompson, like a late fight knockout just with his kicks. I mean, he's so unpredictable. Like he don't, and he'll have a point system. He'll have a point style if he wants to. If he wants to just pick you apart from the outside, little quick jabs, just fillers, kicks, here or there, mix it up a lot. He does that well. He has pretty good. He has really good boxing. He's throwing from his hip, has that sideways stance. Sitting, from the side, throws a lot of side kicks. Which might open up Joaquin Buckley's wrestling attacks also if he is throwing to the body with his kicks and leg kicks. Joaquin Buckley might be able to catch something and take him down. But I kind of feel like Joaquin Buckley might not be able to take Wonder Boy down as much as he wants and hold him down. That's the thing, because Wonder Boy has pretty good takedown defense and get-ups. Like, he could get up. Even though he got tapped by Shavkat, that's a different level. That guy's, like, undefeated, all finishes, and just a different type of grappler than I think Joaquin Buckley is. But Joaquin Buckley has been on a roll. I don't know how many he's won straight, but he's been killing it since he's won at 170 for sure. I mean, this is a tough one to call, because this could go either way. Because it could see, I see if Joaquin Buckley doesn't gas and he's able to take Wonder Boy down, then he's going to win this fight. I mean, it might be a boring type win, maybe just some ground and pound. I don't think he finishes Wonder Boy. If anything, he just takes him down and kind of just controls him and maybe land some ground and pound and win that way for 3 rounds. But that's going to be very tiring at altitude, and Wonder Boy is very good at that. And he's such a wily vet himself. He is getting up there in age, 41 years old. But when it comes to, he's not the easiest to take down, so he has good takedown defense. And so, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like, this is a tough one to call. Like obviously, Wonder Boy's maybe at the tail end of his career, 41 years old. Joaquin Buckley's just kind of coming to his own, on a roll, has a lot of confidence, working on his wrestling a lot. I just think that might be a bad strategy if you're that one-dimensional. And he is a little smaller, so he's got to close that distance to get on Thompson. Thompson has great footwork, great movement. He's able to stay away from a lot of takedowns. And I don't know, I'm leaning to Wonder Boy with either a late stoppage or just a decision, going 3 rounds. And Joaquin Buckley, like I can see him having success early, maybe just if he can get the takedowns. If he can get the takedowns, this is Buckley's fight all day. Like, I feel like it might not be the most exciting fight. I'm not saying he's not an exciting fighter. He has longer arms, actually, than Wonder Boy. He has a longer reach, so he might be able to land, that big shot. But I still just think that Wonder Boy is going to be tough to take down and hold down. He's a crafty vet. I don't know. I'm leaning Wonder Boy on this one. Like we see what he did against Kevin Holland. I mean, he showed that there was levels to it. Albeit I think Holland got injured in the fight early, or he was injured before the fight, or whatever it was. But you can't play into that game, and I think Buckley might be forced to, be standing up. Like, if he's not able to take Wonder Boy down, I don't think Buckley has improved a lot, but like I said, Wonder Boy's not that easy to take down. I'm going Wonder Boy with the win here. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one, though. I mean, it's a tough one to call right here. But, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going with. That'll bring us to, who's the next one I want to talk about? Oh, obviously, Kayla Harrison and Ketlin Vieira. This is a battle of 2 freaking beast women right here. I mean, these women are freaking elite. Like, Vieira just lost to Rocky Pennington for the belt, so that's why Rocky's the champ. Vieira lost that fight. She's a judo black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt. We got Kayla Harrison, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in judo. So you got a black belt and a 2-time gold medalist in judo. And Kayla Harrison is, 17-1, pretty much, I think, almost all finishes. I don't know how many finishes she has. I mean, a lot of her work was done in the PFL. She was like a 2-time PFL $1 million tournament winner. I mean, she's a freaking beast. Her only loss was against, what's her name, Pacheco, in there. And I think they were 1-1. They both beat each other. And Pacheco's a freaking beast herself. She looks huge at 155. And Harrison's freaking huge. She's freaking jacked. I mean, she is freaking jacked. And shout out to Kayla Harrison, man. She stole the show. She put on a good performance at the press conference yesterday. Like, really, I mean, she showed out. She has another. If she wins this fight, for sure she's next in line. Obviously, this is like a title eliminator, but I mean, she has beef with. I mean, she wasn't talking too much crap about Rocky Pennington. She was basically saying, she'll beat Vieira Pennington and Juliana Pena all on the same night. She was saying that before. But her back and forth with Pena kind of stole the show. Like, she had good comebacks. And she was right. Yeah, you've been here since 2009 talking about Pena, but you're only 10-5 or whatever it is. Your record, you haven't even had that many fights. I'm 17-1. Pena's like, you're fighting cans or whatever, which obviously, honestly, I don't think that was such a good comeback. And it's kind of a jab. I get it. It's just not good for women's MMA to put other organizations down, because even the UFC don't have a stacked division. This division is freaking kind of whack, dude. It's kind of forgotten about, if we're honest. We already know this. Ever since Amanda Nunes took off, vacated after she beat down Juliana for 5 rounds and just left as a champion, she left a void there. There's this fucking division sucks now, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? So I think the UFC, this division especially, needs Kayla Harrison. And honestly, I'll get to the co-main in a minute, but this actually could be a tough test, though, because Vieira, like I said, she has the grappling experience. She's tough. She's durable. She's a big chick. She's 5'8". They're both 5'8". The reach is Vieira has a reach advantage, and she's probably just going to be a more seasoned striker than Kayla Harrison. Like, Kayla Harrison, obviously the grappling game is unbelievable. She has been working with Alex Bahia, but I think it's more Alex trying to work off, get some judo tips from her more. She might be getting some striking tips from Pahea, but, you're so far behind. Like, your whole life has been grappling and tossing people, throwing them through the air, slamming them on their heads in the judo realm. It's kind of, she's playing catch up, obviously, in the actual stand-up game. But that being said, Kayla Harrison is a freaking beast. She could take whoever she wants down in the world, throw them, whatever. And she has that type of pressure where it's relentless. And if she could get you down and just ground and pound anyone, really, then she could just dominate on the ground. Like she just ran through Holly Holm, made her look easy. And Holly Holm, she had a pretty good takedown defense herself and was not that easy to finish in the UFC so far. But, she's getting later in the years. But, like, Harrison was able to just go in there and just freaking destroy her, make it look easy. I'm not saying she'll be able to do that against Vieira, because there is some stuff working in Vieira's favor here. Kayla Harrison could be looking past Vieira because she's already, basically calling herself the uncrowned champ of the women's division at bantamweight. But also, we got to remember, Kayla, it's not easy for her to make this. She was saying that she was going to be the backup for the main fight, but she opted not to try to make 135. She made 136, that extra pound, and she looked freaking depleted, man. She looked sucked up on the scales. She did not look good. She looks freaking half dead on the scales, just sucked up, because she's jacked. She was freaking, looking like the Ultimate Warrior out there. You know what I'm saying? She looked, for wrestling WWE reference, for all you old heads like me, but she looked skinny in there. She looked sucked up and drained. So, this weight cut is, she made weight. You can't take that from her. Coming down from 150 pounds, she used to fight at, 155 in PFL, to come all the way down to 136. Kudos to her for making that. You got to give it up. But at the same time, that's at altitude, cutting all that weight, going against someone who's a game opponent, who this is her natural weight class. She obviously cutting weight herself, but Caitlin, Vieira. But, those are advantages for Vieira, like Kayla Harrison. It's only a 3-rounder, so that kind of does, mitigate that a little bit or change it up where it's not such a big advantage, but it's still an advantage. Like if Harrison goes out there and just blows her wad or just does kind of gas out because it was a bad weight cut, then Vieira could shine and to get the upset here. And it'd be a huge upset. And that would put Vieira right back in the title picture, next in line as well. She just lost to the champ, Rocky, so she'll be right there. But, that's still a long shot. I think Kayla Harrison's going to go out there and do what she does. She's going to take her down. She's going to dominate. Obviously, her judo game is going to be on another level. Vieira could have some jiu-jitsu threats, submission threats. I just don't see someone like Harrison getting submitted like that. If anything, it's going to be Harrison or Kayla just be getting tired and not having the strength or energy to be able to dominate like she normally does. But in 3 rounds, I just don't see that happening. I think she went there a lot earlier, too, because I've seen her training with, like I said, Alex Bahia. Alex Bahia went a few weeks back, 3 weeks ahead of the fight, to train, to get acclimated to the elevation. So I think that the altitude. So I think Harrison is definitely going to take this fight by pure domination. I don't know if she finishes Vieira. It might, because Vieira is tough. It could go to decision, but I could see also Harrison just ground and pound. I mean, I don't think she does like I don't think she submits Vera just because Vera is seasoned like in jiu-jitsu as well as judo. And there's a lot right on the line just for that. You know, there's judo versus judo. But I think I think she'll get like a ground and pound, maybe a TKO type stoppage domination. I'm thinking second or third round. I don't think it'll be like first round type thing. I think she definitely would get Vera down in the first round, get on top, do a lot of damage. If she doesn't wear herself out, then I'm picking Harrison second, third round finish. And and she'll be next in line for whoever wins that main event. You know what I mean? That's what's up. And yeah, that's how it's gonna go. Like this is her division. This is like I said, this is what the UFC, the women's bantamweight needed. You know, they definitely needed this fight right here. They needed somebody like Kayla to go out there and just be good on the mic. Like she's a beast on the mic. You know what I mean? She's money on the mic. You know, and then that'll bring us to Kevin Holland, who also is very good on the mic, against Roman Dolidze, they're both coming off wins. Both look good in their last fights. Holland's kind of another one who's kind of hit and miss. This is a middleweight fight. He's fought a middleweight and a welterweight. He's also hit and miss. You know, you never know what you're going to get. Like if you get the Kevin Holland who's freaking on his game and just piecing up people from the outside, he has a lot of power. He's obviously freaking granite chin. He's durable, tough as hell. He'll be talking. His nickname's Big Mouth for a reason. He has long reach. He'll be talking shit the whole time to Dolidze. He was already kind of jabbing at him about it, you know. But Dolidze, you know, he's coming off a win. He's fought some bigger guys. He's more of an 85er. Holland's kind of an in-betweener. That's why he bounces back and forth. I mean, realistically, he probably should be at 170. But, you know, for whatever reason, he goes up to 85. I mean, Holland's fought freaking the who's who. Like I say, he's freaking comes out on short notice just to get ragdolled. But whatever, he stepped up. He didn't care. You know, 37 fights already. Like he's been in the UFC. Like he was a Contender Series guy. That show wasn't even that long ago. He's like basically one of the most active fighters. I think he is actually the most active fighter in the UFC. He's like the cowboy 2.0 type shit. You might want to say the black cowboy. I don't know. I'm not trying to get racist or anything like that. Not even. I love Holland. I'm saying he has that. You know, he has that about him. You know what I mean? Like he don't care. He'll throw down with anyone. He's that type of dude. Even in the backstage, wherever the hell it's at, parking lot, in there, you know, smoke a blunt and scrap with you. Like, you don't care, you know. So, and, you know, he's a fan favorite. You know, I like Holland. Like, I think he's funny as hell. He's great on the mic. You just don't know what he's going to get. I'm kind of leaning Roman on this one, but he is obviously going to try to wrestle him. You know, like Holland's, I don't think people standing on the feet, you know, you can see what Holland's done. He got a win over Joaquin Buckley. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joaquin Buckley is a great striker himself on the feet. Powerful guy, very intimidating, just freaking jacked. And Holland was able to like put him out. I mean, so I don't think it'll be that type of fight. Obviously, there's a little deficiency in Holland's. I don't want to say his jiu-jitsu. He's got some pretty good jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, but I think it's just his wrestling game because he's willing to go out there and scrap and go out in a shield, and he likes to throw down. You know what I mean? He just likes to throw down. He's like ghetto motherfucker who likes to throw down. So it's like I want Holland to win. Like that's who I'm rooting for. Like I'm definitely rooting for Kevin Holland to go out there and show out and get a win. But I'm kind of leaning Roman, but more of like a boring style, like a decision. You know, like a boring freaking win type thing where it's gonna be, you know, like just a grapple, hug fest, just hold him down, maybe do some ground and pound there. I don't see him tapping Holland. Like, you know, Holland has been tapped before, but we're talking about Khamzat, who's a freaking different animal, you know, altogether, just a crazy-ass freaking maniacal Tasmanian devil type fighter, you know what I mean? So it's like no one's been able to really stop him yet, that wrecking train. I mean, there's been some people who tried. You know, Gilbert Burns was there, they put on a scrap, but Khamzat's pretty much been a wrecking ball in there. But yeah, I'm leaning Roman Dolidze by a decision, probably like a boring type, I'm holding you down type of fight. If he's forced to stand with Holland, I could see Holland putting him out just because he's a little bit more accurate with his strikes, more crisp, and he's got power. You know, he's got that skinny man power. You know what I'm saying? He's got that, you know what I mean? Just like that Nate Diaz guys, where those guys, heavy hands, whatever it is, but he's got that where he could take a shot. So it's like he's showing he has a freaking crazy ass chin. So, I mean, Holland's always going to be in the fight. I never will count him out. I'm definitely rooting for him. But I think it's going to be one of those boring things where you're going to try to hold him and just lay on him and stuff like that, especially at altitude. But that could play against Roman as well. I think he fought maybe like 2 months ago. It was a quick quick turnaround for him. So I mean that could also come into play. And Holland's always got a pretty good gas tank. You know, he's pretty efficient with his striking, and he don't really waste a lot of energy with the wrestling. So, you know, I could see that happening as well. Like if that does happen, I'll be happy. If Holland could get a late round finish, a late finish, second, third round, you know, that would be dope. But I'm kind of leaning like a boring type Roman, just holding him down, laying on him, laying prey type style. And I'm leaning that one. I don't want to make an official pick just because I like Holland. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him go down or pick against him in this fight. That'll bring us to the feature, the co-main event of 307, which is one of my favorites of all time, basically, Jose Aldo. I mean, Jose Aldo. I mean, freaking, this guy's, you know, Mr. Rio himself. I mean, he's a freaking beast, always has been. We all know he's got devastating leg kicks, 40 fights, 32-8 his record, 14-2 for Mario Batista. Both coming off a win. Jose Aldo fought was Jonathan Martinez last. After coming out of retirement, getting a couple wins in boxing, pro boxing, comes back out of retirement and beats an up-and-coming fighter like Jonathan Martinez, which he dominated, man, made it look easy. I mean, everyone Jose Aldo has ever lost to, other than Marlon Moraes, where we all kind of know he got robbed in that fight, everyone has been like Max Holloway, freaking, you know, Alexander, you know, Volk, you know, saying these guys that have been champs or, you know, just elite fighters. And then we have even Merab. Merab could not take him down, though. 16 takedown attempts, 16 defenses for Aldo. Obviously, we know Aldo has some of the best takedown defense in UFC history. We're talking like 97%, whatever it is. I don't even know what the percentage is, but I know it's some of the best in history. Probably look that up real quick, honestly. I'm curious about that. 91% takedown defense. And we're talking 40 freaking fights. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just unbelievable. You know what I mean? And when everyone, that was their game plan for Aldo. Like, we're talking, this guy was he was a featherweight champ for 10 years, undefeated, basically, WEC and then UFC. Went down to bantamweight after, you know, Max and Volk did their thing against him. But like I said, Merab, look, he's champ right now in bantamweight. He could not take him down. He made it a boring fight, holding him up against the cage, not really did zero damage to him, you know. So it's like, I still feel like Aldo is, I think Mario Batista, obviously his takedown, that's going to be his game. He's going to mix it up. He's pretty rounded. You know, he throws a lot of volume, a lot of energy, stuff like that. You know, he's going to come in and try to take down Aldo, and that's just not going to work. And Aldo on the feet is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, he don't throw as many leg kicks as he used to. Like, obviously, he used to win fights just off leg kicks, just batter you with leg kicks. But his jab is freaking sick. His boxing is so good, head movement. You know, everything he does on the feet is just so crisp in his timing, and he's seen it all. Like, obviously, like I said, for all these years, that was everyone's, you know, plan of attack against him was, or strategy was to take him down. And he's 91%, you know, for 40 fights, you know, not being taken down. So it's like, Aldo, he's a huge underdog, or no, I mean, not huge, but he's an underdog in this fight. Jose Aldo all day. I'm thinking decision, though. I mean, I think it'll be like he's going to pick him apart on the feet. Batista might bring some energy, try to bring some volume and pressure, but he's not going to have anything Aldo has not seen before. If you're not elite, if you're not like championship material, then you're not beating Jose Aldo. I don't give a shit. He's just that good. Like, he's that next level. He's that guy. I'm not saying he's like a gatekeeper. I'm just saying you got to be the best out there. Like, you got to be the best in this division to beat him. Otherwise, you're not beating him. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. You know, no gatekeeper shit. Unless Batista comes out and just shows that he's on that level, you know, then Merab better watch the fuck out. You know, which I just don't see it. Aldo's going to win this fight. I can't believe he's an underdog. I mean, Batista's still a little unproven. And, for sure. I mean, Aldo all day. I'm thinking decision in 3 rounds. He's not going to get tired. He has had a gas tank issue in the past, you know, but at the same time, we're talking 3 rounds. A new and improved Aldo as far as just his mindset. He's hungry again, you know what I mean? So it's like he's a vet. He's, you know, but he's still younger than some of these guys on this card. So I mean, yeah, I'm going Jose Aldo. He's rising. And what I want to see is if Aldo gets his win, Figgy gets his win. Obviously, Figgy might be next in line for the title if he gets a win in his next fight. But I would love to see Aldo versus Figgy. That would be fucking nuts. That would be a crazy fight because both of them kind of got that similar style of just power, explosiveness, sniper type thing, and jiu-jitsu as well. Aldo's also, a lot of people don't know how he's a high level freaking jiu-jitsu guy. You know, he's a black belt, like, but insane jiu-jitsu. But his takedown defense is so damn good, you can't hold him down if you do get him down more than a couple seconds. Other than, I think it was Mark Hominick back in the day was able to hold him down, and that was at a tire. That's when we were saying where Aldo had a gas tank issue. That was like fourth, fifth round type thing, you know, where after Aldo had already had the fight in the bag and big ass hematoma on Hominick, you know, busted him up. So I mean that, you know, he almost lost that fight, but didn't. We're talking almost, you know, and didn't. So yeah, Jose Aldo all day. You know, that's almost a lock for me in my eyes. I don't see Aldo losing to Bautista in any way. I don't see Bautista at that level. And if he proves me wrong, then fuck, okay, we got a new championship contender, you know, on our hands. But yeah, that'll bring us to the co-main, you know, which is had a lot of heat in the press conference. There's a lot of history and bad blood in this. It's kind of like a rivalry from Tough back in whatever season that was. I can't remember. I think Misha Tate was a coach. It might have been Misha and Ronda. I'm not sure on that, or whoever the coach was, but they definitely got a heated rivalry going on. Juliana Pena always, you know, she's always going to talk some shit. She's always pretty good on the mic, you know what I mean? Almost like kind of a little cringy and stuff like that. A lot of people, it's not for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of annoying sometimes, obviously, but she is a mouthpiece. And, you know, Rocky Pennington, like Harrison said it perfectly. Like, you know, she's just a fighter, you know what I mean? She ain't about talking shit. She ain't about trying to, you know, be all flashy or famous or whatever the fuck it is. She's just a fighter, you know, she does her job. And she's a vet, you know what I mean? They both have, 16-9 for Rocky Pennington, 27 fights, you know, or 12-5. She said 10-5, right? Harrison was talking shit, but 12-5 for Pena. You know, she's had a lot of injuries throughout her career, so she hasn't been the most active. She had like broken leg, you know, all kinds of shit wrong with her. So she hasn't been able to actually just stay active. But she has a mouthpiece and manages to stay relevant because she does talk a lot of shit. She does believe in herself. And this fight, I'm kind of back and forth on. You know, it's like I wasn't really excited for this fight, for sure. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? I really wasn't because obviously Amanda Nunes left the void. She beat both these chicks. Like, yeah, Juliana Pena got a win over Amanda Nunes. You know, finished her in the second round in their first matchup, but then got completely dominated by Amanda Nunes in the second fight. Like, just embarrassed almost, dropped her multiple times, busted her up. 5 rounds to nothing, I believe it was, just destroyed her. And the same thing with Amanda Nunes and Rocky Pennington. I think Pennington just didn't come out for the last round or quit. I don't want to say she quit on the stool. Maybe her coaches or whoever threw in the towel. I can't remember exactly, but I remember she got beat down for the duration of that fight. So Nunes left the void. Obviously, she was the GOAT, you know, in MMA and just fighting, period. You know what I mean? She's a freaking beast. Proved that fight was with Pena. I don't think they needed a third one after that beatdown to prove who was better. But since Pena didn't get that rematch with Nunes for whatever reason 2 years later without a fight, she's next in line for Rocky Pennington in this fight. Like I said, she did talk herself into this fight. But you can't take away the fact that Pena is tough. She's very durable. Like, she don't go away. Like, Nunes put a beat down on her, dropped her, made her look bad, but wasn't able to finish her, you know, and it just shows that Pena does have a lot of will. She has, like, her technical ability. I would definitely lean Rocky in that aspect just because her boxing is a little more crisp. She's got good hands. She's got basically good boxing, good power. Pena is more like kind of just wings, punches, and just, you know, puts her head down and all that. You know, doesn't really it's not the most pretty, you know, technically sound type striking or even the wrestling, but I think it's more just the tenacity of it and the will to want to keep going forward and no matter what and go for the win and whatever that takes. And that's what made me at first lean towards Pena in this fight. Just that, you know what, you know, she's just going to want it more than Rocky when it comes to the wrestling exchanges, when it comes to that. But Rocky is a little bit more rounded, I believe, as far as just technical ability. So now I'm kind of like I'm torn on this one. Like, I don't know who to go because first I'm thinking Rocky could just kind of get a decision, you know, on the feet. She definitely has better striking ability, better hands. But when it comes down just to who wants it more, who's willing to die in there, I still got to go with Pena on this one just because I feel like she's just going to bring it a little more and just not quit in there. If she, you know, I could be wrong. She has had a long layoff, but she showed a lot in that fight against Nunes and just pretty much every fight, like just having determination, not the best technical ability, but be able to just keep pushing forward through adversity and just keep coming forward. And she believes in herself. She's confident. She believes she's the best. And I would love to see her against Kayla Harrison anyway, more than Rocky and Kayla. I just think like there's more heat there. So I'm gonna go Juliana Pena with basically a decision. Maybe she won't win a decision, honestly. So it might be some type of stoppage, like some type of. She does have pretty good jiu-jitsu. Like, her wrestling, like I said, is decent. Like as far as her takedowns, just the tenacity with it. But she does have some pretty good jiu-jitsu, like off her back and on the feet. So I could see her maybe a rear naked choke if she could hurt Rocky or Rocky gets tired. We're talking altitude. Rocky does look like a good shape. Weigh-ins, they both look like they're pretty good shape. But I'm gonna go Pena by a submission, third, fourth round submission, something like that. I don't think she wins a decision against Pennington. I think if it goes a decision, I think that means Pennington was able to kind of keep it standing and just pick her apart on the feet and maybe even beat her up on the feet. So but I'm gonna go with Pena because like part of me just wants to see her and Kayla go at it. So that's my prediction on that one. That'll bring us to the main event. Poatan Chama against Khalil Roundtree Jr. Battle of the freaking elite strikers. You got Glory, two-time world champion, middleweight, light heavyweight champion in the UFC and in Glory. And then you got Khalil Roundtree, who actually went to Thailand to train Muay Thai for a couple of years. So, I don't know if he was at Tiger Muay Thai or something like that. He had a couple of different gyms he was at there. So this is a very interesting fight because Khalil Roundtree has already beat Go Kansaki when he first came in, and that's another Glory-type champion, elite kickboxer. He beat Dustin Jacoby, which was a very, questionable fight, questionable win. A lot of people thought Jacoby won that fight. And, I knew it was a close fight. I got to rewatch that one. When I first watched it, I thought, oh, maybe Khalil got it because I think he rocked Jacoby a little more, but I felt like Jacoby was able to actually land a lot more, than Roundtree and make him look kind of bad at times. Because Roundtree can't get a little reckless. He's fast as shit. He's fucking explosive, powerful. Like, his leg kicks are crazy. He checks leg kicks, too, and he just looks like he's a freaking beast in there. Like, he looks like he's carved out of wood, you know what I mean? Like, that's this guy. I was talking about a guy who was like a 300-pound, like, teen or early adult, whatever he was. And now he's just like a chiseled 205 wrecking machine, kickboxing, freaking, beast, you know what I'm saying? Like, just crazy power, leg kicks. Like I said, he kicks like he's very, like everyone says, like he's beating you like you owe him money, you know what I mean? He's fighting you like that. And that's how he fights, and that fight that could either play into benefit, like it could hurt him against somebody like Pahea, because Pahea is pretty patient in there, just like, I just love his stance in there. He's just kind of like just the way he's just kind of rocking back and forth. It's like you never know what he's going to do, and he's so patient, and he waits for you to make a mistake, but at the same time, he's always constantly touching you. Leg kicks, inside, outside leg kicks, the jab to the body, like he body kicks. And then he'll throw a couple of left hooks in there, whatever, just to kind of get these fillers out there, just get you thinking about everything that he's throwing at you. And Khalil is like, he's a counter puncher himself and very explosive. So he could be waiting on that leg kick just to try to just time it and throw a devastating fast right hand or left hand. Coming from a southpaw stance, which a lot of people think Pahea has problems against southpaws. I just don't. I think that he has made adjustments. Jamal Hill, southpaw. Izzy, he kind of switched stances. He has fought southpaws before, and he's beat most of them. He made light work, easy work kind of Jamal Hill. So, Poatan has the reach advantage, the height advantage, the experience as far as kickboxing advantage, even though Roundtree, spent 2 years at Muay Thai. It's a totally different style than actually the Glory-type kickboxing. So, it's going to be a different timing, a different stance. But Khalil does have a good guard. That he keeps his guard high, his chin down. And he's looking to do damage, which kind of what Muay Thai is basically based on, is just inflicting as much damage or who could take more. And I think Roundtree might even be more durable. We don't know, because Pahea at 205 hasn't shown any like chin deficiencies like he did against Izzy at 185. He's been able to take the shots against these bigger guys. And that's been pretty crazy, and it's cool, because maybe that just shows that it was the weight cut down to 185. So, like I said, Pahea has a lot of advantages here. The altitude could play a factor. Roundtree has gassed in the past in just 3-round fights. I don't think he's ever been a 5-rounder, because I'm pretty sure he's been a main event before, but I don't know if he's actually been. I don't know if he's ever went to 5 rounds, and he has shown like he can get tired because he is throwing, he's winging punches, he's throwing everything with reckless abandon, sometimes explosive. I think if he could like make this a firefight and get on the inside and make Pereira make a mistake, kind of like what Izzy did, kind of just make him just go in there and just trade blow for blow, just go in there and just freaking go at it, then I think for sure that Roundtree could knock out Alex Pereira for sure. I mean, like if you're going in there and just go guns blazing, I don't think you want to do that with someone like Roundtree because he is durable. Look at that thick ass neck and freaking he's swole. He's jacked and he has explosive power. He's definitely faster than Pereira. Like all the advantages that Pereira has, Roundtree he definitely has the speed and explosiveness on his side. He does check leg kicks. Alex Pereira throws a lot of leg kicks, but he doesn't really wind up on them. They're really probably hard. They seem like they're hard at time because he lands them on everyone, and he's throwing them at a very fast pace, but you just never see them coming. And he mixes up his striking so well, and he doesn't really put himself out of position. The only fighter really to get him out of position was Izzy, and Izzy was able to hurt him in the first round of their first fight in the UFC. Actually, their third fight, but total. But yeah, he was able to hurt him and rock him, but he wasn't able to finish him, and Pereira ultimately got that win. Then in the rematch, Izzy was able to knock him out the same way, just Pereira just getting a little overzealous and just trading blow for blow and just, getting in that fire. If he could draw that out of Pereira and make him make a mistake or just overextend or something, then yeah, but Pereira is like one of the most composed fighters in history as far as striking. Obviously one of the best kickboxers in the UFC has ever had. He has to be the best, I would say. 2-time glory champion in 2 different weight divisions, but also just he showed the people he's knocked out, in both divisions, and just like his composure in there, like he has that long reach where he just kind of stays out there, like you can't really hit him so much. He deflects a lot of shots. Sometimes his chin seems like it's there, but he has such good footwork and distance where he's just out of range, but he's still right there to counter. Like he just waits for you to make a mistake and then he counters. And like he did against Yuri, that was almost a flawless victory right there. Yuri landed 7 strikes in the round in like 10 seconds or whatever it was in the second round when he knocked out Yuri. Yuri literally landed 7 strikes in that fight. So, I mean, Yuri comes in with that crazy style. Roundtree is a little bit more traditional Muay Thai, obviously. He's going to come in there just looking to do damage and chin down and, just swinging for the fences. Like I said, that could benefit Roundtree. He said he's not going to do a takedown. He said he hasn't ever attempted one in his whole career. He's not going to start now. I could see Alex Pereira maybe if it's a strat. I favor Alex Pereira heavily in this fight just because of the role he's on, because of the composure, and he doesn't really make a lot of mistakes on the feet. Like he does stay composed out there and good distance. He doesn't take chances. He could throw a spinning back kick and still be right in position to throw a punch right after. Like he's never out of position in any after a strike. He's never out of position. He's never like overextended. He's never like leaving himself wide open. He's always in a good place to either get away or deflect a shot or counter, or always trying to set you up just with his feint game. So it's kind of like I don't see Roundtree beating him that way. I could see if Pereira, because he has been working with Kayla Harrison, he has been working on his wrestling game a lot. So I could see him maybe if he does have a bad game plan and does kind of what Jan did with him when they fought in Utah last year, maybe just try to make it a wrestling heavy game plan or attack, maybe gas himself out if he's not able to finish Roundtree, because we're talking 5 rounds here at altitude, but hasn't really shown too much of signs of like not having a good gas tank. He did get a little tired against Jan, but he still finished strong in that fight. Same thing with Izzy. Like we thought he was tired in the first fight. Gets to finish in the 5th round, so it's hard to tell with him like how good is it. It seems like his cardio is good. He's sparring all the time. I don't think Roundtree is going to have anything that Pereira hasn't seen before, like as far as striking wise. A guy who's fast as fuck and hits hard. I mean, I'm sure Pereira's faced a lot of this, and just with his range and the size, like the weigh-in today, they look fucking huge. Like it was a huge, there was a huge size advantage there for Pereira. He's 6'4" against 6'1", 6'6" Roundtree, where they just look like 2 different weight classes. But Roundtree is thick, he's solid. He's a thicker guy. He won the grip challenge or whatever, grip strength, which I don't think means much, but it just shows that he is strong, So, and because Pereira's, we all know he's freaking strong as an ox, he's a beast. He hits like a truck, probably one of the hardest hitters we've ever seen in the UFC. So it's kind of be who's going to be more durable. Like if you get in a firefight with Roundtree and he could take your punch and he lands something big on you, it could be devastating for Pereira. But we've seen what Anthony Smith did on short notice, was able to land pretty like consistently against Roundtree. I rewatched that fight recently. At first time I watched it, I thought Roundtree just ran through him. Like this was a freaking destruction. Roundtree killed Anthony Smith, like made him look bad because he rocked him more. He didn't make him do like a couple. He wobbled him, made him do like a chicken dance type thing. But when I would look back, Anthony Smith actually was kind of having some success on him. And Lionheart, he was throwing some good jabs in there. He was actually checking some kicks and throwing some leg kicks himself. So I think, like he said himself, Anthony Smith, Pereira's way better than him at striking. So it's like if he could do that, then Pereira, if Pereira's backing you up, just ask Jamal Hill. If Pereira's backing you up in that space, it's not going to be a good night because you're going to throw something reckless and wild and leave yourself open. And we've seen like Khalil, as good technically he is at Muay Thai, sometimes he does wing punches from the hip or just kind of leaves his chin up. And I could see Pereira just doing a little step back. And yeah, so I'm picking Chama, and still, Poatan, just going to keep this streak going. This is a very dangerous fight for him. Like I said, Roundtree is dangerous. He can knock out anybody, super explosive, crazy power. But I'm going Pereira and still by knockout. I'm thinking like second round. I would say first round, but Khalil's tough. And I think if Pereira was to do that, he'd have to put himself in the fire, and I don't think he wants to do that. I think he's going to want to stay kind of like close to the fire, but just out of range, just out of the fire. Khalil will just jump in the fire. So we got to see Pereira just stay a little bit away from that and then a counter, and that's what's going to happen. I think Pereira will get a knockout. I think he'll land a big left hook as usual. We might see some nice leg kicks from Roundtree. Like I said, this is a very dangerous fight for sure. But I'm going Anstill, Chama, Alex Poatan, Pereira for the win. And, and that's a wrap. That's all I got. Let me know what you guys think of my picks. I know I was a little bit all over the place, like just throwing my early prelim picks out there, kind of not – I didn't really think about this as much as I did the main card, like as far as the prelims, but they are pretty good matchups. So looking forward to see these fights. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see them live. I'm going to be at 66er Stadium, San Bernardino, watching King of the Cage with Engage Combat Gym from Redlands. A lot of their guys are going to be fighting there, so I'll be there. But I'm going to try to maybe leave early just to at least catch the last main fights and then rewatch the UFC late after. But that's going to be a tough one. This is a tough one right now. I hate when these fights are all on the same day. I got shit going on the same day. But this is a fight I don't want to miss because I know it's going to be exciting. Must see TV. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and that's all I got.